Oh, so good morning. Here we go. So good morning. Welcome to the latest edition of Procurement Pulse. Just a quick bit of housekeeping as always. All your cameras and microphones are switched off. And this webinar is being recorded and your name may be visible. We will be editing this after this event and we will be uploading it on our YouTube channel. So please check it out, KSS Procurement Services. Look for our YouTube channel there. There you go. So pass this on to your friends. So my name's Richard. I'm part of the direct channel team here at KSS Procurement Services. We missed him on the last episode, but he's made a speedy return. So over to MJ for what's on today.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, it's good to be back on Procurement Pulse. And we've got a mixed bag for yourself today. So we've got a range of different types of frameworks just to show the variety and the different ways that we can support the organizations within the public sector. So I'll be going through a spotlight on a couple of frameworks, and so will Rich. I'll be running through wheelie bins and curbside recycling containers, bit of a mouthful, as well as integrated community care equipment. Richard will be going through winter maintenance as well as record information management. Now, these are a mix of established frameworks as well as some that are relatively new. So we're really keen to go through those and give you a bit more information. As per usual, it'll run between 50 to 20 minutes, and we will try and stick to that as best we can. After the introduction to the different frameworks, we'll go through our Q&A session. So thanks to those who have submitted a few questions for us already, and then we'll have a sort of view as to what's going to be happening next month. So I'm going to hand over to Richard, who will be going through his two frameworks. So back to you, Rich.
Thank you very much. So just say you confirm you can see that on your screen, yeah, MJ?
Yep.
Oh, excellent. Right, so winter maintenance. So I'm going to go through using our online catalogue. Again, free to download. Go and have a look. Really, really good. Gives you all the information you need and an insight into what the offerings we have at KSS Procurement Services. So with the dark nights drawing in and the cold weather upon us, we want to spotlight the winter maintenance framework. So as you can see, it's made up of 3 lots, and we've only got 3 awarded suppliers on this framework. So lot 1, so winter maintenance for bulky salt, and that's brown and white. So this is supplied by the ton and is used to grit highways, cycle paths, public walkways, and to try and keep schools open and safe during the winter months, much to the annoyance of the children. Obviously not for the parents though. Lot 2. This is for the supply of winter maintenance products such as de-icing liquids, snow shovels, salt spreaders, and the actual bags of salt that you can buy rather than buying it via the ton. Lot 3. Winter maintenance gritting services. Again, this is for gritting roads and paths, etc. And you can have a fixed price gritting service that you can obviously procure through this framework, or you can have a one-off service, or you can even use it for planning and consultancy. So they're the 3 lots, 1, 2, and 3 suppliers, very straightforward and obviously very relevant at this time of year. So to ensure that you continue to operate your organisation during these winter months and to prioritise the safety of both your employees and the general public in challenging weather conditions, reach out to us and prepare for winter. So that's the winter maintenance. I'm now going to move on to records for you. 2 seconds. Let me just get to the right page. And if by magic, there you go. So records information management. Now this has got 6 lots, so quite a big one. 13 awarded suppliers. And we think it's going to be one of our most popular frameworks next year. So again, I'm going to go through a few of them, go through a few of the things of what it does cover, but won't go into too much detail. So lot 1 covers the prevention and installation of assets and record storage, including retrievals and destruction. This includes things such as sort of pallet storages, box storage, media, files, asset tracking. Lot 2, documentation scanning and digital storage, which covers things like back file conversation, inbound forward scanning. Lot 3, information governance and advisory services. That's things like GDPR, retention policies, which controls how it saves and disposes data for compliant reasons, content classification. Lot 4, Content services platform, things like AI, workflow application, business procession automation. So lots and lots of different things it covers. Lot 5, cloud solutions, hostings, backup, disaster recovery, data restoration. Obviously, everyone must have some sort of disaster recovery within their organization for such a thing like that. Lot 6, secure IT assets, recycling and disposition, which covers things like on-site audits, data erasure, asset recycling, and secure destruction, because obviously data has to be disregarded in a secure way. So hopefully you've got a better understanding of these few frameworks. I can see MJ patiently waiting in the wings for his turn because it's been a while for him. So back over to MJ.
Thanks, Rich. So hopefully you can see my screen now.
Yep.
Right. So I'll be going through a couple of frameworks, wheelie bins and curbside recycling containers. So as you can see, the catalogue's really well sort of formatted. You've got a breakdown of to the sort of core components that are provided, solutions that are provided through this framework. So compost bins, food waste caddies and containers, curbside recycling boxes, plastic pallet boxes, waste housing units, wheelie bins, and more. As you've probably heard in the news, how many bins do we need now? 5, 6, 7. In England, we're certainly not too sure at this point in time, but we've had a bit of sort of communication and direction from the Welsh governments, and they've mentioned recently that they'll be introducing new legislation, and it's going to be targeted at not just households but workplaces. So it's going to try to sort of format it so it all aligns. So what you'll see is materials such as recyclable materials will be collected in the same way that most households do now. So hopefully that will improve the quality and quantity of how waste is collected. So the 6th of April 2024 is the sort of target date. In terms of legal requirements, what will happen is there'll be a need to separate the waste. So it will affect workplaces, that's businesses, the public sector, as well as the entire private sector. So those who collect the waste or arrange for waste to be collected will need to be aware of the changes that will be taking place, as well as those who collect, receive, keep, treat, or transport waste. They'll also need to separate the waste moving on forward. So want to keep an eye out for the changes. 6 bins, 7 bins. Well, what the Welsh government have said is the materials, the following materials will be required to be separated for collection. So food, for premises that produce more than 5 kilograms of food waste a week. It's quite specific. They'll need to be separate from the following lot, which is paper and card, glass, metal, plastic and cartons, and other fiber plastic packaging, and unsold small waste, electrical and electronic equipment. So that's quite specific, as well as unsold textiles. So there's a bit of a variety of different ways of storing and waiting for those bits of waste to be collected. So we'll be posting more about it on LinkedIn, so keep an eye out so you can have more information. And as always, you can contact us directly so we can help put a strategy in place to make sure you're adhering to these new regulations if you are in the Welsh region. So that's wheelie bin and curbside recycling containers. The 3 suppliers that we have are the sort of major players within this sort of industry. They're really keen to engage and support your organizations across the country. Get in touch. We can talk about the different routes to market for you guys and hopefully find a solution as these contracts come up for renewal moving on forward. So that's wheelie bins and curbside recycling containers. One thing I didn't know is on the catalogue, you can zoom out. If this works now. There we are. It allows you to zoom out and it gives this sort of nice, quirky view. So I'm also going to be looking at integrated community care equipment. So this is something that we've had a lot of success in terms of supporting public sector organizations recently. We've done quite a sort of thorough job in supporting especially organisations and health trusts, as well as local authorities within the Greater London region. So we're looking to take that sort of approach across the UK. So do get in touch. So what is it that the Integrated Community Care and Equipment Framework can support you with? Well, it's quite a lot. I'm going to sort of list off a few. If it's slightly related, we should be able to support you with the organisations that have been awarded on this framework. So we're talking daily living aids, multi-sensory equipment, walking aids, toilet and equipment, stair lifts and climbers, kitchen and household equipment. So there's certain aspects where you think, didn't know that we could support through the framework, but it's a sort of fully comprehensive solution for the organisations you represent to make sure adult social care is not forgotten about. And we have to remember, as we have the average age of the person living in the UK creeping further and further up, adult social care will become more and more important. So you need to make sure the people within your locality, the people that you're sort of serving, have access to everything to make their lives a little bit more comfortable. So we're here to support you with that. As per usual, you've got the two same routes to market, further competition and direct award. We can support with both aspects, so give us a call and we're more than happy to support. And you've got those 5 major suppliers. I'll quickly run through their names. That's AJM, Mediquip, Millbrook, NRS, as well as Ross Care. I'm sure you would have heard of those organisations if you've worked in this space before. So quite a quick introduction to the different ways that we can support with these 4 different frameworks. Hopefully you can see, because of the variety, and it's only just 4 frameworks that we've looked at today, there's loads that we'll be able to help with today. And moving on forward into 2024, 2025, we'll have around 80 frameworks that we can support your organisation with. So we plan to have a solution for anything that the public sector might need moving on forward. So hopefully that's been useful for you. If you have any questions, do get in touch. Talking about questions, we do have some that were submitted already, and we'll get into that straight away. So, Rich, the first question that was submitted prior to today is, what is day forward scanning and how can that help my organisation?
Yes, so obviously I didn't know what this was, so I obviously had to look at it myself. But yeah, day forward scanning is basically converting paper documents to a digital format as they enter your organisation. So basically, stuff comes into your organisation in a paper format. It's scanned, it's digitalised, it's then they're obviously all scanned, they're indexed, and they're imported into your sort of system of records, and then they're either destroyed or they're stored. So day forward scanning is basically an automated thing that people can do to make sure your paper stuff goes digital and goes into your organisation. So that's what that is. I've got one for you. Now this one, I looked at this and I was thinking, what is this? Because I don't know what it is. So what is bariatric equipment?
Yeah, so that's something that's within the scope of integrated community care and equipment. It's basically any type of equipment that's there to support individuals with higher weight capacities or just larger body sizes in general. The products are, and there's a range of them, are designed to sort of make sure getting a more comfortable experience basically, and they're a bit more durable as well. So it helps ensure the safety of any user potentially taking advantage of that type of equipment. Well, I was driving down the M1 yesterday, and the M6 from Manchester, and the temperatures are -2, 3. And when you drive down the motorway, you usually see this sign, salt spreading, ongoing. I wasn't close enough to see if the salt was brown or white, but someone's asked, what's the difference between brown and white salt? Rich, do you know?
Well, apart from the colour, which is obvious, but yeah. So again, so brown salt contains more impurities. Okay, so it's cheaper than white salt. That's one thing to know. And also, brown salt leaves a gritty residue when it dissolves. So as you know, we've seen it all where you go along the path and it's all brown, it's horrible, it's sludgy. So that's what I mean with the brown. But basically, because of that, it provides better traction. Hence, it's being used more on roads and paths because it gives you better traction and less slipping because of that. Now, obviously, white salt is more of a sort of de-icing agent because it works much, much quicker and it doesn't leave that messy residue. So you probably see white salt more things like on lots of footfall places. So like into work, you come into a little path, lots of people coming in and out the building. You don't want to take all that brown stuff in. You're more likely to use the white salt in those sort of areas. So that's the difference, basically. Brown salt's cheaper, leaves that horrible brown residual stuff, but actually gives you a lot more grip than white. But white is a lot quicker to de-ice stuff. So hopefully that's answered the question. And I think that's about all we've got time for regarding questions. But again, anything we've discussed today you're not sure about, obviously drop us a line, let us know, and we'll obviously come back to you. So what's on next month? Christmas is upon us. So we are actually doing an early edition of Procurement Pulse because obviously, you know, we've both got to get on with our Christmas breaks and, you know, eat and drink and do all the merry stuff that's great around Christmas. So our next one's on Thursday, the 14th of December, 11 a.m. live. Now we've got a special guest. It's James from our Life Cycle group. He's a new partner of ours that we acquired a few months ago. And him and MJ actually went to the HCSA conference yesterday and Tuesday. So because of that, we wanted to get more of an insight, you know, into what that was, some of the things that they talked about. So James is going to give us an overview of that. We're going to ask him some questions about what it was and how it can affect those sort of people. So that was really good. So that's about it for me. So as I just said, next month is on the 14th of December. Thank you very much for your time today. Hope you learned something, especially about brown and white salt, and that MJ can drive because obviously he was on the motorway yesterday. So we know that he can drive and he is actually here. So that's always a bonus for us. So get in touch if you need anything. So last words for you, MJ.
Yeah, thank you once again for joining us today. We do really appreciate it. Any feedback as to how we could make it more engaging or topics that you'd like to hear more about, we're more than happy to make arrangements so it becomes more useful for you. But yeah, the HCSA was an eye-opener for sure, and the NHS usually tends to be sort of trendsetters in terms of changes in sort of procurement activities. So it was really worthwhile for me to attend, and James will be able to provide valuable insight as to some of the discussions around sustainability, social value, and just generic advice on procurement that I think you'll definitely find useful. So do tune in if you're not already off on your winter holidays, Christmas holidays. And if you're unable to join because you're off on holiday, do have a great time with your family and friends. But hopefully, if you're not off, we'll see you next month. So as always, keep your finger on the pulse.
The Procurement Pulse. Thank you.
Thank you.